one that's a little bit upsetting is the murderer who resides in room 3. And you just go in there, it's just anger. He's a little bit of a skeptic.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Definitely not anymore.
So if you look right here at the bottom, she's got her hand on top of her head. We call this the Hall of Shadows. When we were taking down all the paneling, we discovered a hidden door. I'm gonna let you see something special that I never show anybody. All right, so through this door right here, we were the original jail, and it was known as the worst jail in all of Texas. I used to be in here all the time and doing the stories, and it's just too painful. This is the room where the alleged murderer was supposed to stay the night that he committed the crime of murdering little Emma. They were asking all these horrible things of him, and he got incredibly angry and he scratched the original Indian raid shelter. And then it was also used for a jail. The city actually found the tunnel, but then we started pulling out creepy stuff. Just my luck, we'll get a skeleton or something like that.
Have they checked the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
They haven't?
No. You know, once the tunnel was found, that the city just, let's not talk about it, you know, let's just leave it at that. Down here we have 4 spirits. One is very, very physical. So I only come down here with guests, not down here at night.
Are there any of the shadow people here? You hear that?
Mm-mm.
Guys, I know. Could you tap again if that was you out there? Yeah, I remember I'm down here in the area that one of the owners of the home said she would not come into at night, and definitely not alone. And I'm here alone at night, so.
All haunted places have a story to tell. It can be tragic, it can be scary, and it can be very dangerous. This is Colin Browen, and these are the Paranormal Files.
The Magnolia Hotel is an extremely famous haunted hotel located in Seguin, Texas. The building has been featured on many popular paranormal programs, and the ghost stories from this place have been published in books and news stories across the globe. The building is supposedly home to 13 different ghosts, including the spirit of a little girl who was murdered and a violent entity thought to be the spirit of the man who killed her and stayed in the hotel the night of the murder. From suicide by drowning to suicide by hanging, and even an old jail in the building's basement where inmates were tortured by Texas Rangers and left to die, this hotel has been the setting for a lot of crazy history. And it is said that this history has left a powerful energy stained upon the building's walls. The owners of the property are very reluctant to allow paranormal investigators to film inside the building, and we were given a rare opportunity to investigate this extremely famous and supposedly extremely haunted hotel. Welcome to the Paranormal Files. Nice. Okay, well there it is for the first time. Don't want to run the stop sign. But here is the infamous Magnolia Hotel. I guess let's just try to find some parking. I think I can park right here.
My name is Erin Getty.
Hi, I'm Jim Getty, and we're the owners of the Magnolia Hotel. And we welcome you to the hotel that we've been restoring for the last 6 years. And it's a 107-year-old stagecoach stop and frontier hotel right in the middle of Seguin.
All right, so you got to know the history before you learn about the ghosts. So it actually began as a 2-room log cabin, and it had a breezeway right down the middle. And it was built by the co-founder of Seguin, who was also one of the original Texas Rangers. His name was James Campbell, and he actually played part in the peace treaty when they were going to the council house fight in San Antonio. And because the treaty went bad and a lot of Comanches were killed, Campbell was then targeted. And so he only got to live here for about a year. And on his way to San Antonio, he was attacked by Comanches, and they stabbed him 27 times, scalped him, and left him for dead. And when the Texas Rangers went looking for him, they found him and they buried him right where he lay. So he's an unmarked grave. And that's why we put the monument outside, because, you know, we felt that he deserved a decent burial. So the Texas Rangers came out and honored him with that. That was a really good day. And then after that, his cabin was sold and it became a stagecoach station. And it was the first one in Seguin and the longest too. This is during the time in 1847 they built the original 3-room hotel in the back. It's made out of solid limecrete, and this building's quite famous here in Seguin because the Texas Ranger John Jack Coffee Hayes is one of the most, he's the most famous Texas Ranger of all, and he actually got married in the original Magnolia Hotel. He fell in love with the owner's daughter, Susan Calvert, and they got married in there right after he hung a man across the street. And something that we like to share is that when I was growing up, I was always told that I was a descendant of Bigfoot Wallace, who was another famous Texas Ranger. And since I can remember, my dad told me you're related to him. And then we thought it was really cool because once we bought the hotel, we found out that Hayes and Wallace were best friends. And he actually attended the wedding. So that was pretty cool. And then in 1850, they added the 2-story wood frame portion of the hotel, connecting the log cabin and the original hotel in the back. And it was an elegant hotel for 50 years. And then during this time, this is when the bell that once hung in the Alamo was found. There were 3 of them. 1 was melted down and 2 were just lost. And 1 was discovered in the owner of the hotel's son-in-law, John Tuhig. He purchased it and brought it to the hotel. And it rang in front of the hotel for a good 45 years. And it wasn't until the Daughters of the Republic of Texas discovered it and verified that it was the Alamo Bell. And they took it back, and now it's in the Alamo. So if you go visit it, it's hanging in the first room. And then in 1930s, by then the hotel had been pretty much downhill, and so it was purchased by an older couple, and they renovated the hotel, making the bottom floor into their home, and the top floor she took the 10-room hotels and turned it into 4 apartments. And then after the couple passed away, it became idle, and it was left for inheritance, and all they did was just come in and lock the door. And so it remained empty for 15 plus years. And then during that time, it was known as the worst building in all of Seguin. And Jim and I found it, and we discovered it on a YouTube video. And it was just listed on the top 10 most endangered places in Texas. And so once we got here, they opened up the door and we fell madly in love with it. All right, so that's the history of it. And to be honest, the way we found it was I was writing a book called Haunted New Braunfels, and my family are one of the founding families of New Braunfels, and so I was doing a little book called Haunted New Braunfels, and I put all the stories that my grandmother had told me when I was a child. But I was in a library, and this lady said, are you the lady doing the haunted book? And I said, yeah. And she goes, why don't you do the Traveling Town Como Spirit? And so I was like, oh, who's that? And so she told me it was a little girl named Emma, and that she was murdered in her home in New Braunfels. And the alleged killer was William Faust, and he stayed the night at the Magnolia Hotel the night that he committed the crime. And so how we actually came about the hotel is that Jim and I wanted to take a picture of it to put in the book, and so that's how we found it, and it was so Emma brought us over here. And ever since then, it's just been very active. The day that we signed the papers to owning the hotel, the first spirit showed up, and she was the strongest of all. So it's been a wild ride now. She's amazing. She really is a traveling spirit, and she traveled over here, and she's still giving us secrets. And what she does, she kind of guides us to whatever it is she wants us to know. And the first time she told us her first secret. That was the reason I had to write the Haunted Seguin book, just so I could put her secret in that book. And it was pretty profound. And just about, I guess, for a year and a half ago, that she came to visit, and boy, did she give us a doozy of a secret. And because of that, I wrote my 3rd book, Mysteries of Magnolia Hotel. And so she still hasn't left. So Jim and I are wondering, what else does she have us to tell? Yeah. Well, we'll find out soon enough. Mm-hmm. You'll grow to like her. Everybody here is good. You don't have to be worried. It's so sad when people come to visit and they'll walk in going, oh, I'm scared, and hold me and stuff like that. And I keep telling them that these are just people who have passed away. That's all they are, and they all have a story to share, and that's how we know who they are, and they're all very kind. So the only one that's a little bit upsetting is the murderer who resides in room 3, and you just go in there, it's just anger, but I'm not afraid, it's just anger. So whatever, you'll love it down here.
Perfect. Well, do y'all want to do a tour?
All right. So you're on the opposite side of the log cabin, and this side would have been used for the stagecoach stop. And so when the stagecoach would arrive, the women and children would get up and they would stay in this room, and then the men would go in the other room because they call that the smoking room. And so the men would go in there and smoke their cigars and drink their whiskey. And this room was also used for whenever there was a funeral. It was the only cabin in all of Seguin. So whenever someone passed away, they brought them in here and they would lie in state in here. Also during any kind of fun event, they would gather in here, and it would have been a lot bigger because this wall would not have been here. So they would have dances and parties and stuff. And the coolest thing that Jim and I, our most wonderful experience is when we were just kind of playing around. We knew this was the ballroom, so him and I we were doing a little waltz for fun. And as soon as we stopped, Jim says, "Do you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah, what do you hear?" Because they're dancing with us. We can actually hear their footsteps dancing with us. So that was really cool because it happened to Jim. He's a little bit of a skeptic,
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Definitely not anymore.
It was in the beginning. But if you want, I can show you. There's a spirit that resides in here, and the way we discovered her was that she would constantly just a soft cry, and it was so sad. It was just constant crying. So we would come in here and try and communicate with her, and there was just no end to it until I had a friend who was a historian and also believed in spirits, and she came and told us a story about the young girl who arrived here at the stagecoach stop, and she was waiting for her sweetheart to arrive by stagecoach. And so she's waiting, the stagecoach arrived, and he didn't get off. And so she said, well, I'm gonna wait for the next one. That's 2 days later. And they allowed her, and then he didn't get off. Happened 2 or 3 more times, and during this time she wouldn't eat or drink because she was just so depressed that her sweetheart didn't arrive. And so she passed away from a broken heart. And so that's her that comes forward, and it's really cool because we know when she's here, she'll walk amongst you. You can feel her skirt. And we actually had a visitor who caught a pretty amazing capture of her. So if you'd like to see it, I'll show it to you.
Yeah, please.
This was an original picture that was taken very early on. And you can see her looking out the window, which is right there. And then we had a young boy. I give these tours, and he was so bored. And he decided to take a picture of this picture right here. So he turned around and took a picture. All right, so he's turning around. You can actually see the young boy right here, and he's got his cell phone. And after he took it, he just started freaking out, and I asked him what it was, and he says, look at my picture. So if you look right here at the bottom, I'm gonna blow her up. And there she is.
Oh.
She's got her hand on top of her head, her little wedding bonnet, 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so clear.
It is. She comes forward all the time, and her sweetheart finally arrived, but it is so faint you won't be able to see it on the camera. But again, we were having a tour, and this man kept hitting his head. And so we took a picture of him, and as you can see, there's only 4 men in that picture. But if you look at the picture result, you can see the 5th man.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I believe that's her sweetheart. That's why she hangs out so. And then when you walk around the house, if you take your phone and put it on cell phone, and you put on selfie, and you walk around, they'll take pictures for you. It happens all the time. Our last tour, it happened 4 or 5 times. And this lady was doing it, so she had her cell phone in her hand, and as she was walking around, took a picture, and she caught our shuttle figure. No problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
She comes around
So
all the
clear.
time.
Looks just like her and the other one too.
Mm-hmm.
They enjoy coming out. So yeah, we call this the Hall of Shadows when you enter, because it's like a shotgun. It goes straight down, and so we see our shadow figures all the time. Any questions? Oh, I was glad that happened afterwards.
Yeah, right. Perfect timing.
Okay, so now you're walking into the original 1850 saloon.
Wow.
So it was a saloon in 1850, and it was a very, very busy saloon. And a lot of men came over to drink their whiskey. And Jim and I, when we are not renovating this building, we are restoring it. So everything you see is original. And so we desperately wanted to bring back the saloon so it would give you that feel. But this wall is it's kind of supporting the hotel, so we couldn't take it down. And so we decided to make it into the 1930s kitchen. And so in here, Mrs. Reed likes to show up quite frequently. This is, hope y'all can see it. This is outside that window right there. And so you can see, there's Mrs. Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two children, this little boy and the little girl is leaning on his shoulder.
This one is so clear right
I
here.
know, that's Jenny. And this is William. And that's Mrs. Reed. And she likes to throw things. So she gets kind of upset with me because I'm always moving stuff, and evidently she thinks she still owns the hotel. So she likes to throw things when she doesn't like where I place them. Hopefully she'll catch on that I own it now. So. And then this is the children's room. This is every room. Everybody wants the children's room. So in here, when we were taking down all the paneling and then the wallpaper and then the linen wallpaper, we discovered a hidden door. And we were all excited because this hotel is supposed to have treasure on it, which we've yet to find. But I thought, oh, this is it. So I took a picture of it from my husband and I texted it to him. And when I did, I caught the very first spirit that resides in this house.
Wow.
But historically, this is the end of the hotel. So when it was a log cabin in a saloon, we know that it stopped right here because you can see the columns and they look exactly like they do on the front. So I'm a historian and a retired museum curator, so I was like, yes, that was awesome. So in here, this is where the children of the hotel like to hang out. It originally was called the children's room when we bought it, and so we decided to decorate it up like a children's room, and so they all come and hang out in here. We have Little John, Itzy, William, Jenny, and of course Emma. Emma's my pride and joy. She's the one that shows up most often, and she loves to play with her toys. She likes to roll the ball, or if you put the pinwheel down on the ground, she'll blow it. And she loves it when you turn off your light on your flashlight. She'll actually answer with you. So everybody wants this room, and she has a fan club. People bring her toys. That's how loved she is. Which I think is really cool because when she passed away in 1874, nobody knew anything about Emma. Nobody. And after writing the book and then buying the hotel, everybody loves her. And so I just think it's a great thing that happened that we, were able to honor her. So yeah. This room right here, this room is actually what we call Little John. So we call this Little John's room because we actually took a picture of the mirror, and people were taking lots of pictures of that big mirror in there, and faces kept showing up, and it was always the same face. And so I decided that I was going to take a picture, and the mirror was on the ground, and I'm facing it, and he showed up, and then I was able to blow it up, and there he is. So this is his face, 2 eyes, his nose, and his mouth.
That's like incredible.
I know, and he shows up all the time. Sometimes it's his face. He likes to throw pebbles at people. If we have the back door open, he'll toss them. And sometimes he'll be in the mirror as well. This is a young boy who took a picture standing in front of my hat stand. And when he took the picture of the mirror, he caught one of the shadow figures.
That's like pitch black.
Yeah, he was so excited. It was so cool when he came in. Look, look, look!
It's like his size too.
Yeah, exactly.
Kid size.
And so in here, would have been the original Magnolia Hotel restaurant and dining room. And it went all the way, that wall and these 2 walls would not have been here. And so it was huge. And when you bought a ticket for the stagecoach, it included either breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And so 50 years, this restaurant ran breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It sustained during the stagecoach and then during the railroad when it came to town. The spirit that resides in here is Colonel Thomas Dickey Johnston. And he was a colonel, and he fought in the Civil War. And after the war, he came back to Seguin, and he owned the hotel, and he ran it with his wife. And he was beloved by this community. And he died in this room And after that happened, they decided to have the funeral here in this room. And so he lied in state right here, and he was a member of the secret society, the Masons, and so they were all on this side, and then his family was on this side. And they said it was one of the longest funerals in Seguin. So he shows up every once in a while, and when he does, you'll smell his cigar scent or a pipe. And I like it when he does the pipe because it's the same scent as when my father used to smoke a pipe. So it's like, oh, Dad's here. You know, so but yeah, he shows up all the time. And then I'm gonna let you see something special that I never show anybody. All right, so through this door right here is the original Magnolia Hotel. It was built in 1847, and it's made out of solid limecrete. And then during the time of the restaurant, they turned it into the servants' quarters. And they would cook their food on the outside, bring it into the hotel, and they would prepare it and serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So now it's our home. So I'll let you see my home.
Awesome. Thank you.
And watch ahead, there's a stairway.
Okay. You got it.
There you go. So we do live here. This is where we hang out. This is also the area that we first saw our first spirit. But we love telling the history about this room because this room, it was a 3-room hotel with a back door and a front door, and everybody had a fireplace. And then they turned it into servants' quarters, and then in 1930 they turned it into an apartment. But the coolest thing about this room is this is where John Jack Coffee Hayes married Susan Calvert, right here in front of this fireplace. And so the historians and Texas Ranger buffs, they all, you know, forget about the history, just take me to where he got married. So we do allow that. But our most strongest spirit, her name is Idella Lambkin. She's the young lady on the fireplace. And she was the town's fortune teller, and she was really an amazing psychic, and she was so accurate that people wanted to be read by her, so they were going to her home, and that became just overwhelming, so she decided to do her readings here at the hotel. And when she passed away, she returned, and she's still doing her readings. It's the coolest thing. She's actually drawing in her descendants who had no idea that they were related to her. I'll get knocks on the door and say, I just wanted to come visit, you know. I'm like, really? Why? You know, I don't know, I just feel like I need to be here. And I go, are you related to someone named Idella? And they're like, yeah. There you go. So she's drawing them in. But she was the one that came forward first when we signed the papers to the hotel. We came over here, and this room was just hideous, but we needed to start somewhere, so this was the room. But Jen had bought a bottle of champagne and brought 2 glasses, and we opened up all the doors because it was so hot and stinky. And so he goes, well, we bought us a hotel. I'm like, I know, we're crazy. And he popped the cork, and right when he started to pour it, all 3 doors went boom, 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 and this ice cold breeze went right between us. And that was her. She just wanted to let us know that she's here. So we actually have 4 spirits that reside in here that I don't share with anybody because they like our little family. But it's a lot of fun. There's never a dull moment in this room. So.
Wow.
Hanging tree was right across the street. And
I did not know that.
oh, I'll show you a picture of it.
Please.
And then we were the original jail. Our Indian raid shelter that's dug underneath the log cabin. Right after he built it, the Comanches attacked, and they had no place to hide. So he had it hand dug, and so it goes from one side of the building to the other. And then from 1847 to 1852, it was used as the first jail, and it was known as the worst jail in all of Texas, because that was during the time of Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers believed in hanging, not jails, so they weren't too kind to their prisoners. So we know we have 4 spirits that reside down there. So I'll introduce you to them. All of the pictures you see on the wall, those are all the original owners to the hotel. But yeah, so this would have been a 10-room hotel. Okay, it was a 10-room hotel, and it would have been straight shot like a shotgun, and so you would have had room and room, and they would have kept going. So this would have been 1 room, that one and that one, and but it had traveling salesmen. Oh, they had tons of traveling salesmen, and one of the traveling salesmen stayed in this room, and he actually committed suicide. And so he comes forward quite often, but you're actually standing in what will be the Airbnb. So you get to lease out 2 beds, living room, and kitchen. So, and in this room right here, we call this Amelia's room. We like to honor her because she actually passed away in her sleep. And so we honored her with, we named the room after Amelia. And then room here, this is John Doe's room. When the hotel was idle, it became a really bad place. It was known as the crack house. And so when Jim and I first bought the hotel, that was the room that had the worst of the drug paraphernalia. And a lot of homeless people would come into the hotel and just take a room, make it into their own for as long as they could. And so the man in here, when the policemen came, they noticed that there had been a real struggle. And he had been suffocated right outside the bedroom, and you could tell that he had taken up a home in there. And he's actually buried in the city cemetery under John Doe.
And that was when the place was abandoned.
Abandoned.
Wow.
And I just met, we were doing an open house, and this really nice-looking gentleman came up to me and said, "Hey, I've been in this house before." And I said, "Oh, did you know the family?" He goes, "Oh, no, I came in after. They had closed it down and it was empty." And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "This was a crack house." And he says, "I was the one that used it." Yeah. And so I was like, "What?" He's like, turned my life around. He said, "It's so wonderful to see this house the way it is now." So that was a good story.
Crazy.
Yeah. Now I'm going to take you into the house. Blooming hot. Okay? So
That's fun.
I'm going to grab my water and then we'll go in there. Okay?
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
You're actually going to be entering, and you'll get to see what the hotel used to look like. All right?
Awesome.
And just shut the door behind you. So this is far cleaner than it was when we bought the hotel. It was completely packed with just trash and boxes. And it actually took Jim and I 3 months just to get rid of all the trash that were in the building. And so we finished one side, and we decided we were going to leave this like this for a while to give people like you an opportunity to see what it used to look like when Jim and I bought it. And also you could get the feel of what it was like for the apartment. And also when Jim and I started restoring up here, the spirits started showing up, and we could tell they were not happy with this. So that's okay with me. You want it like this, I'm going to leave it like this. But in here, we call this the pink bathroom, and this is when a young lady committed suicide while she was in the bathtub. And then we come in here. And this is, if you notice that we have chairs in a circle, we just do that for when we have our tour. You know, everybody likes to come in here and see what they can feel and take a break. And a lot of times we'll do the REM pods, and our traveling salesmen will show up. So this is this room. We call this the prisoner's room because of the fact that again, the jail underneath the hotel was the original jail, and it they built the next jail in 1852, and it began like this. If you look right here, that's our Magnolia Hotel, and we're looking at this window, and you can see the original jail. It's a house. So it was a one-story jail and with a circle of limecrete, and then they bricked it and added a second story, and then later they added the third story, and you can still see it out the window. And the reason they called this the prisoner's room is because whenever there was going to be a hanging, they would let the prisoner's family reside in here. That way they could look out the window and they can see when their loved one is going to be hanged. And they would put them in the calaboose, which is a traveling jail on wheel, and they would bring it around the front so everybody could say goodbye while they're on the balcony, and then they would go and hang him right across the street. So in here it's just sorrow. It's just, you can feel the pain of this family losing their loved one. And then in here, this is my favorite lady of all. So this is actually, we call this the Madam's Room, and that's because there's a very, very popular woman. And they gave her this room. They reserved it for her because she was so popular. And she chose this room because she could see her house, which was directly across the street. Now it's a park. So when she comes forward, when you're doing your investigation, she has a tendency to pick on men because she was a madam. So if that happens, I'm sorry. But she also, when she shows up, you're going to smell the different fragrances because she had several women that worked along with her, and their perfume is just really intense when she comes forward. And they've got this young girl in here. This room right here is where my little girl Itzy resides, and she was a young girl, about 9 or 10, and she actually passed away of yellow fever. And just to let you know, none of our children are bound to a room. They can come and go as they please. The only one that doesn't come upstairs is Emma, and that's because the murderer's up here. She loves to roll her ball, and if you're real quiet, she'll sing the Itsy Bitsy Spider song to you. So you got to sing it back to her. So
It's a deal.
and in here, this is Sam. Sam's room would have been on this side. So when they turned it into apartments, Sam's room was made very tiny. He was an African American that lived here on the property, and his duty was to chop wood. And so his first name was Sam, so they called him Sam Wood. And he actually came forward when we were doing a ghost tour. I had a lady that she wouldn't stick with the tour. She kept going ahead of me. And so she was standing right there, and I was standing right here. And all of a sudden, I knew we had a new presence. I could feel it behind me. And then the lady goes, "Erin, what's this feeling?" And I said, "I don't know, but if I were going to take a picture." So she took a picture. She looked at it. She ran out of the house. So Jim ran up after her. Goes, "Man, what's wrong? Are you okay?" She goes, "Look." And so she texted us the picture, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So she's taking a picture of this mirror right here. All right. Here's my foot, her foot. There's her body. There's her pink shirt. It's in front of her camera.
Oh. And that was nobody's hand.
And but 20 people sitting around. We're all looking, and then they were like, "Why did she run?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Wow.
So that's Sam, and Sam's favorite thing to do is to whistle. So if you're in here, ask him to whistle, and maybe he'll do so. All right, I'm taking the next side.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk you through the apartment, but we're heading into the murderer's room. Okay. There. This is the murderer's room. You can stay in, but I can't. It's just overwhelming for me. But this is the room where the alleged murderer was supposed to stay the night that he committed the crime of murdering little Emma and blinding Helene with an axe. And so it was said that he stole the horse across the street, rode it 2 hours to New Braunfels, had a botched, robbery, and he went into the back of Emma's home and saw that Helene's jewelry was on the counter, and he went in, but Helene woke up and he slashed her eyes, and then he killed Emma just in case she was a witness. And then he rode his horse all the way back another 2 hours and left the horse in the stable, crawled up in this bed as if nothing had happened. And he shows up here quite often, but when it does, it gets super hot. And whenever I tell his story, he gets really intense, and that's why I stay outside, so I don't have to feel it. All right, I'm gonna take you to the Indian Ridge shelter.
But so you wouldn't want to come in here when you tell the story?
I could,
it's
but
that.
he's not in there right now. I can sense it, but when he does, it's like, it's really heavy for me. So I used to be in here all the time and doing the stories, and it's just too painful when he comes forward now. So
Powerful energy.
very. I had a friend up here, and I was showing him, and he said, "Let's bring the meters." I'm like, "Okay." So I was inside, and we had the meters, and it went off so strong that I had to drop the meter because it was just shooting at my arm. So when he comes forward, he don't like me too much.
Wow.
Because I'm telling the story, you know. So. And of course, you can see some of the remnants of what it was when the homeless people here and the graffiti artists. Although I really love Jimi Hendrix, I'm keeping that one.
Okay, of course.
Alright, so I'll take you to the shelter.
Okay. Also, so what are the reports of scratching and those things?
It happened in the beginning.
So
Yeah, in the very beginning, when we just bought the hotel, we had some friends, and they stayed the night. It was a good friend of ours and a cousin, and they went into the room and they were antagonizing him. They knew better, and sure enough, they were asking all these horrible things of him, and he got incredibly angry and he scratched. And when they came back, I said, "It's your fault. I mean, why would you want to go and make a murderer upset?" So that was the only one. He did it a couple of times. Again, they were antagonizing. So now I just tell everybody, don't do that. This is a man that's suffering too. He's in a very bad place, so don't antagonize. So he hasn't scratched, so I think you'll be okay.
you wouldn't say that's the defining activity at all, because when you look the place up online, it's always scratches. But
Right.
coming from your perspective, it seems like that's the last thing that you want people to know about the place.
Yeah, it's so sad because I wrote a third book, and since you need to read that third book because there's an incredible ending to the story, and So we're working really hard to bring this man to peace, you know, and so we're working on it. But the stories get transferred, you know, it's like the grapevine, and it makes it worse than what it really is, you know. And he doesn't scratch anymore, and I just refuse to have anybody antagonize him. So yeah.
Well, we won't do it. So.
There we go.
Don't worry about us. We're just gonna walk around.
Alright, so this is where the shelter is, and all I ask of you is that you make sure you duck when you're going in, because people were very short back then. So.
Walk on in. Take up the back.
The original Indian raid shelter, and it was dug out in 1840, right after Campbell built his cabin, and it was all dug out by hand. And then it was also used for a jail. You could actually see some of the leftovers from the jail latch, and obviously they were chained at one time because we did find the hook. And again, it was the worst jail in all of Seguin. And then it made it. The last Comanche attack was in 1855 on the 4th of July. And when that happened, 3 men were kidnapped by the Comanches. And so all the Texas Rangers went after him, and they told the women and children to come down here and sharpen their knives and to make bullets. So I sit and think how frightening that must have been for those poor children and those women, not knowing what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then during the Civil War, the women took very good care of it. They seemed to survive very well. I don't have too much history during the 1860s, but in the 1870s, when the time of Reconstruction was going on, it was really rough on the ladies, because a camp was set up directly in front of the street over there, and it went all the way down to where the white church is. And the Union officers took over the hotel because it was the finest building, and Union soldiers, when they weren't in the camps, they would come down here as well, because we find Union bullets all the time, and we have these history buffs that come in and go, yeah, that's Union.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I'm sure that the poor lady must have really been painful for them to be here. And then in Prohibition time, this was a speakeasy. It was
Nice.
a happening place. So we find a lot of moonshine jugs. And I love this because this is a moonshine stirrer. You can actually see the X's on it. And
That's crazy.
burnt. Would you drink something that can burn a wood?
No thank
No.
you.
And so yeah, it was a happening place. And we had they had a bell. And whenever they thought they were going to be raided, they would ring the bell and everybody would scatter, and we found the bell.
So
Yeah.
cool.
We found the bell. It's right on the other side of this big thing right here.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
That's so cool.
And then in 1930s, this was just used for the couple. She liked to make pottery, and so she had a kiln down here. And down here we have 4 spirits. And one is very, very physical. I used to come down here. It was Jim and I who leveled it out. You can see where we stopped. And I would come down here by myself all the time, and then she would come forward, and I knew she was there, but she would start pushing, and she'd pull my hair, and she tripped him one time, and when she started throwing rocks, I told Jim, I said, I'm not going down no more. And so I only come down here with guests, and or if Jim's with me. So, and we do know we have 3 others, and we do know that 2 of them were starved, and 2 of them were African American, and the other one was Comanche. So it's very active down here at night. So
I believe it.
not down here at night. So yeah, you should be down here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come down at
Definitely.
night.
So yeah, it's all yours. So,
Awesome.
You didn't get to have Stormy.
Yay.
Keep a safe Stormy.
So why did they say that this was the worst jail in Seguin? Just curious.
Because during the time that they opened the jail, it was the Texas Ranger era, and they were fighting Comanches, and you know they were hanging. That's how that was their law back then, to hang. So when the law came in and says, well, we can't hang anymore. We got to put them in a jail. Well, the Texas Rangers were like, oh yeah, well we'll do that, but we're not going to take care of them. So they would starve them. They would get like 1 piece of bread and half a cup of water to sustain them every day. And so of course they would starve.
So then those people that died from starvation died from
starvation.
In the jail.
In the jail.
Wow.
So we know that 3 of them are the ones that are here. The young girl that keeps coming up, she'll manifest. She'll come right out of the tunnel. I really believe that that's why Stormy and Dee, they're always over in that area, and they'll get in the tunnel as well. And when she manifests, she'll come out of there, and I don't know who she is. We cannot figure out who she is. No communication, no history, so I don't know. But
This is a tunnel? What?
so they said that when it was during Prohibition, that there was a tunnel that led out of the hotel, and it went out to the street. And whenever the bell would ring, they'd go into the tunnel and they'd hightail it. And the city actually found the tunnel. Actually found the tunnel.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
But I don't think they want tourists looking for the tunnel, so they
Yeah.
closed it up real quick.
I can imagine that.
So it was supposed to lead out there, and we started. It goes all very, very far. We had like a rake, and we put a tape to a stick, and we kept going and going, and just kept going. But then we started pulling out creepy stuff. We pulled out a shoe. We pulled out an old pair of blue jeans, and then we had a locket. And I told Jim, I said, I don't want to know what else is in there. Let's just stop. Just my luck, we'll get a skeleton or something like that. So it goes pretty far out. So that's where they say the tunnel was led.
But have they checked the whole thing?
Mm-mm.
They haven't?
No. What I would love to
What?
do is they get the plumber cameras.
Mhm.
I would love to hire a plumber
Oh,
and just do the
man.
camera and see what's out there. But it goes all the way out there. But here in Seguin, it's such a charming city. It's very family friendly, and although there's a lot of wonderful history here, like with the Texas Rangers, starting here, there's a lot of sadness in every city. And so I believe that, once the tunnel was found, that the city just, let's not talk about it, let's just leave it at that, and let's not talk about the jail, which is okay with me, but if you're gonna come to my building and ask me about it, I'm gonna tell you the history, so you can't walk out without that, so.
Good.
So I'd love to see what's on the other side of that tunnel someday.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've had your tour.
Awesome.
All yours.
After our tour of the Magnolia, we headed back to our home base to grab our equipment and some new batteries, then headed back to the hotel in order to begin our paranormal investigation. There was definitely an air of unease between Peyton and I because this place was spooky. When we arrived back at the Magnolia, it was dark outside, the building was completely empty, and it was our turn to finally investigate the famous and haunted Magnolia Hotel.
Okay, everybody, welcome to one of the most exciting episodes of the Paranormal Files of all time. Right behind me is the famous Magnolia Hotel here in Seguin, Texas. Now, this is a place that is famous around the world for the paranormal activity that happens within its walls. I mean, you've got years and years of experiences that have been compiled into books of ghost stories just from this specific building. It's absolutely insane. And these experiences are so diverse. There are people who have seen full-bodied apparitions of women, children, men. There are people who have smelled phantom smells. There are people who have played with ghostly children, that have rolled balls and turned on lights and played with flashlights. Then there are the people who have been scratched, and people who have had their eyeballs scratched and have been left marked or assaulted in these upper floors, and even those who have simply experienced nothing more than a cold chill or the feeling of being watched. Regardless, this is known as one of the most haunted places in the entire United States, definitely in the top 2 or 3 in all of Texas. I mean, you've got Goatman's Bridge, but that's just a bridge. Then you've got the Baker, but that's a condemned hotel. The Magnolia is famous because not only is it still partially abandoned, it has been restored, and there are so many different elements to this story. There's history, there's violence, there's love, there's sadness. It's all right here in this building. But we are being given tonight exclusive access to the hotel. We are given access by the owners who were just so nice to us, such amazing people. They're actually giving us the privilege of having free roam over the entire building tonight, which no other television crews can claim that they've had. It's going to be a totally different experience for the spirits or entities that are living here in the building, and hopefully it's going to allow us to make contact easier by being able to chase these noises and sounds and feelings throughout the building when we see fit. So as a plan for tonight, We're going to start on the first floor where the children's room is, amongst other rooms, but that's, you know, particularly active room on this floor. Then we're going to move up to the second floor with the murderer's room and the other people who lived up there. There was a traveling salesman, the pink bathroom, the lady who drowned herself in there, the madam, who apparently Aaron, the owner, Aaron saw the madam's spirit behind us today because we all smelled perfume when we were in the building filming that interview, and apparently the madam was standing right behind me, so I've already got a little bit of a ghostly attachment that was behind me earlier. And once we investigate the upstairs, we are going to head down to the cellar area. I don't know what you would officially call that, but the old Seguin jail and the bootlegger alcohol speakeasy tunnel area. So once again, if you're watching this video and you don't subscribe to the channel, please help us out. Just click the subscribe button. Every subscription helps us, you know, achieve our goals of making this our full-time living, and we want to make an impact on the world and help people through this channel. We have a lot of big plans, so just help us out. Subscribe, tell people to watch the videos. But anyway, we don't like to shamelessly self-promote, and we're gonna start this off right. Okay, so we got the coffee since it's always a late night, Gatorade for my blood sugar, but we're gonna head into the Magnolia for the first time tonight and just go straight for it. There we go. Okay, so now that we're here in the Magnolia Hotel, where, as you can see on the first floor that we were in earlier with Aaron and Jim, we're going to start our investigation here and move up to the first room, which faces the street, where all of the wedding dresses and gowns were, where owners Aaron and Jim heard ballroom dancing. People have captured photographs of a woman in a white dress, which is the typical ghost that we like to try to debunk all the time. So it's kind of interesting to get the opportunity to tango with a ghost that is, you know, such a popular trope. But we're going to keep this pretty simple tonight. Use our typical raw investigation method, which means not equipment heavy. Just wanted to explain what's going on tonight. I've got right here, this is just an EMF meter, a K2 meter, a MEL meter, all words which describe the same thing. Measures EMF in the environment. So we're gonna head up there, see if we can get any spikes, see if we can hear anything and communicate with these entities that live here in the Magnolia. It's on, let's do it. To whoever is here in the Magnolia Hotel, my name is Colin Browen, and wherever you are in this home / hotel, we would like a car. Really loud phone. You hear that? But we are here tonight to talk to you, so we invite you out to walk over to us and to make contact with us. We are not afraid of you, and we don't want to scare you away. We just want to know who we're talking to. I just felt like really cold from like right behind me. Not like air. You can see there's no air flow whatsoever right here on the curtains. It's like that magnetic chill. Is there someone over here in this area? The front area of the Magnolia Hotel? Could you give us a sign that you're here by knocking on something, moving something, playing with the lights? You can turn it off. So, well, because this hotel is famous for a lot of the pictures that have been taken here on premises, We are going to take some random flash photos and see if we can recreate some of these images and see if we can capture anything new that hasn't been captured before on one of these pictures. We're going to post all of those to our Instagram and our Facebook. The links are in the description of this video. So if you want to see these pictures, go check that out. And if we get one defining one, we'll probably put it in the video when we take it. But a couple pictures. How freaked would you be if this guy just snapped his head towards us? Then right through here is the gown room. This creepy display. And a long hallway that goes down there. Yeah, this is the old ballroom. Over here to the left is the smoking / artifact room with this insanely creepy partner sitting there. Are you in one of these rooms? We're telling you in your room, children. This room's got a weird energy. You feel that? That angle's not flattering. Is there someone here preventing you from coming through? Are there any of the shadow people here? So we're now going to go up to the upstairs portion of the Magnolia Hotel, the second story. This is where most of the deaths occurred here in the hotel, like the traveling salesman who hung himself, the woman who drowned herself in the bathtub in the pink bathroom, and obviously the second floor is also where the murderer stayed the night that he killed the little girl Emma and blinded his wife for life. So there's a lot of energy up there. It feels a little bit dead down here. Don't know if it's because we just haven't been there or been here for too long of a time. We've still been here for a while, but we like to give it time here and let things play out on their own. So I'm bringing up our trusty pal, the REM pod tonight, the EMF meter. Haven't been up here yet in the dark. To whoever's up here, we are not coming to harass you. To whoever's upstairs, we're just coming in to say hi and to make contact. We wish you no harm. And please do not harm us. Let's go. It's got a REM pod right here. It's
device kicks out an electromagnetic field around it in about a circular shape, and the closer you get from a different direction and the amount of intensity that the charge has triggers these lights. So we're going to set the REM to 0 to zero it out. The temperature's at 0. So we're just going to leave that there and see if it hits at all during the night. Is there anybody here upstairs in the Magnolia Hotel? Could you give us a knock or a sign that you're here with us? Some fluctuations on the EMF. It's really low. So this is the room where the homeless man had died when this place was abandoned. Why are those things moving? This fan was never on. I'm gonna sit down for a second too before we go to the unfinished part. I'll kill the lights. Guys, I know it's kind of boring. Guys, I know it's kind of boring. Guys, I know it's kind of boring. Guys, I know it's kind of boring when we sit down, but we've been on our feet all day. And in other portions of the hotel, there's no seating, so we're just geared up. Could you tap again if that was you out there? Is there anybody up here in the hotel with us? Do you remember the Magnolia Hotel? The Texas Rangers? Faust or Emma? Do you remember those names? 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 That was right behind me.
Yeah, that's odd.
I've been asking for knocks all night. What the f? That was right behind me. That's crazy. Is this Emma? Could you knock again if this is Emma? Could you knock again if this is Faust? The murderer? You get really
creepy feeling all of a sudden?
Really?
Yeah, right behind me. Is there anything to my right behind me?
No.
It feels so creepy all of a sudden. You behind me over here? Is there anybody here in the Magnolia Hotel that would like to talk to us? Bottle popping or someone going? I was literally about to say. I was literally about to say. Can you do that again if that was you? Sound really weird, but it's like I felt a really strong pressure just then on the meter, like pushing it to the ground. Show us that you're here. That was a really bizarre sequence of events. To anybody here in this part of the hotel, whether you're the woman who drowned herself in the pink room, any of the people that were held here, family members that watched their loved ones hang, whether you're Emily or a Madam or Faust, the murderer, we invite you to step out and talk to us because we want to hear what you have to say. So, we're here on the second floor of the Magnolia Hotel. This is the unfinished portion of the second floor. We're standing right now in the murder room, or murderer's room. This is where Mr. Faust would have stayed. He was the guy who killed Emma, the young girl, and tried to kill his wife but ended up just blinding her permanently. So this was not a very nice guy, but he stayed right here in this room the night of the murder. And they said that it got really hot in here when they bring it up, really warmer. Faust, are you still here in the murder room? Can you answer a simple question? Why have you scratched so many people in here? Are you angry about something? Do you want forgiveness for something? There's handprints on the window. It's creepy. Can I step out here and ask some questions? So right here we've got kind of an overview of the entire unfinished portion of the Magnolia. Is there anybody here in the upstairs of the Magnolia Hotel who would like to talk to us? Is there a Mr. Faust? Maybe a Madame? Do I do lights out? Why are you still here? Well, we're going to go back to the last portion of this upstairs that we haven't explored yet. Here's the Madam's room, and let's see if there's anything going on back there. Well, Madam, you're free to mess with me in any way you like. I actually just got cold for half a second. Can you come on in and let us know that you're still here?
Can anyone let us know that they're here in the hotel with us? Do you remember the Magnolia Hotel, Seguin, the Texas Rangers, Faust, Emma? Any of these characters? It's just so calm in here. Hello? Hello? There's literally no one out there. I promise you, I could see the whole street. It's just creepy. Is there anybody upstairs with us? One more time. Itzy, the madam, Faust, could you just give us some sort of a sign, just something big, please? We traveled all the way from Austin to come hang out with you guys tonight. We're being very respectful and polite. All we would like is a simple sign that you're here with us. Please, we're begging you. To round out our investigation at the Magnolia, I'm going to be entering the notoriously haunted basement, which used to be Seguin's harshest jail. It served as a shelter for when different Native American tribes would attack the settlement. There was a lot of death that happened down here, a lot of sadness. It was also a speakeasy, as Aaron said earlier in our interview, and there's a tunnel that connects to this basement that no one has explored fully, and they've pulled out clothing and other creepy items, and there's a theory that Aaron has that there might be a body or something else in those tunnels, and it seems that the city of Seguin has tried to hide the fact that they found these tunnels and they've never explored them. So who knows what's under here, but here's the creepy basement. Here's the Magnolia Hotel. It's completely empty right now. Here's the eerie basement. And here we go. This is where the tunnel, I believe, would have connected to these areas. There's a really cute cat right there, too. Hey, buddy. Well, I got white pants, so I really don't want to sit on this dirt. Come over here. So I'm down here alone in the basement. Like I said before, never gets old for me because I love searching for the truth and for answers, and I'll do it for you guys until the day I die because I want to know the truth just as much as you guys at home do. And no one's ever going to find out the truth if someone doesn't go out and try to find it themselves. So here we go. It's definitely got a very stifling, creepy vibe down here. But here we go. Here's Night Shot. And now we're in the darkness. Is there anybody down here in the old Seguin jail with me? You know what? I'm just gonna turn the light on for a sec. Screw it. I'm just gonna sit right here. I'm sitting here in the middle of the area. If you're down here, Could you give me a sign that you were down here by maybe moving something, throwing something at me, walking around, using your voice, or even knocking on something? Well, it 100% just got really cold in here, so that's just creeping me out. My name's Colin, and I'm just here to listen. Were you imprisoned down here? It's actually getting like really cold. Damn, this is freaky. There's no vent above me either. It's like all on my arms and legs. It's getting really cold. Can you use your voice to tell me who you are? Could you walk over to me? Or like I said, throw a rock? And yeah, I remember I'm down here in the area that one of the owners of the home said she would not come into at night, and definitely not alone. And I'm here alone at night, so. Move over here. Oh, that's a big ass spider web. I'll just crouch right here. Is there anybody or anything down here still? Squeak of some sort right there. And the cat's staring at the corner over here. Give me a sign if you want me to leave. Throw something at me. Touch me. I don't really care. I'm down here in your home. I'm not trying to offend you or make you angry, but if you want me to leave, let me know, because I'm just here trying to find out some answers and I don't want to be bothering you. All this stuff they found down here is crazy. Okay, guys. I've been down here asking you questions. Could you please give me one thing? I came all the way here from Austin. I just want to know a little bit more about you and why you're still here. Yeah, it's just so silent down here. It's crazy. Can you walk on over to me? It's just us now. We're in the dark here. No, that's creepy. Does anybody have anything left to say? This is your last chance before I leave. Some noise from upstairs. Thank you, guys. Well, that was interesting. Is there anybody here at the Magnolia Hotel? It's only me and you now. I'm here all alone. Could you give me any sort of a sign that you're here? Thank you to all the spirits and to everyone here in the Magnolia Hotel. Thank you so much. Please stick around for future generations, no matter who you are or what you are. And stick around for me, because I'm going to be back sometime and I want to talk to you next time. But anyways, for now, you guys have a good rest of your night, and I'm going to head... At the end of the day, we only spend a small amount of time in the locations that we visit, so we don't expect to always be able to capture something crazy on camera when we're investigating. The probability of visiting a supposedly haunted location and capturing groundbreaking evidence of the paranormal instantly is extremely low, and yet the biggest part of paranormal investigating is something that you can't capture on camera. It's the feeling of a location, the energy transmuted through technology. So at the end of the day, I encourage you watching to head out on your own to investigate the paranormal. Find your own truth. We're trying our hardest here, but no matter what, you aren't going to get the full paranormal experience that you crave by just sitting there and watching our videos. It's about getting out, exploring, going on adventures with your friends, and confronting one of the biggest questions that has always plagued mankind since the very beginning. Where do we go when we die? We don't have an answer yet, but we're working on it, trust me. I sincerely thank you for taking the time to watch our videos, and we love you. And as always, stay spooky.
How many of you are here? Three.
All haunted places have a story to tell. It can be tragic, it can be scary, and it can be very dangerous. This is Colin Browen, and these are the Paranormal Files.
Macon is a pretty small town when compared to the likes of Atlanta. But Macon has quite the history, and in the Civil War, it was actually the official arms producer for the Confederacy. But in the center of Macon lies a very historic hotel that was once the house of a notable Maconite. Well, I don't know if you call them Maconites, people from Macon, whatever you want to say. This is the 1842 Inn. And when we rolled up to this house, we couldn't help but notice how undeniably spooky it looks on the outside. Soon we met up with somebody from the hotel to give us a tour of the place, explain the history, and welcome us to Macon.
Hi, I'm Charles Olson. I'm the general manager here at the 1842 Inn in Macon, Georgia. And the house was originally built in 1842 by John Gresham and his family. John Gresham was a lawyer here in Macon. He was a past mayor of Macon and went on to serve in the Georgia Supreme Court. The house was then bought by the Adams family, not the Snap Your Fingers Adams family, but the B.F. Adams family in 1900. And then the house was expanded to its current footprint by them. That was completed about 1902. We do have one additional facility in the back of the property as a guest carriage house, and that was originally actually on Vineville Avenue, which is just up the road from the inn. It suffered a house fire, and then rather than the entire property being destroyed, it was taken apart and then reassembled and rebuilt here on our property in 1983. We might want to kind of just move over to the... Let's see, so we do have our courtyard here in between the main house and our guest cottage. As I mentioned, was moved here in 1983. Interestingly enough, in the guest cottage, we have had a couple of odd things happen. Don't know whether it's associated with the fact that that structure had sustained a fire back in the late 70s, early 80s. We've had our maintenance manager has had his hair pulled in there, just a quick tug on it. He's got a little longer hair. That happened, but there was nobody in the room. We've had guests a couple of different times actually talk about the fact that their sheets were yanked off of them in the middle of the night, or had just been pulled down real suddenly on them. So, but then there was nothing in the room. A couple of odd things that have happened in the guest cottage. We've never had those kind of stories, any kind of interaction in the main house. We've had in the John Gresham room upstairs. We have had times where the guests claimed that they put their shoes in the closet, and then when they came back, the shoes were out of the closet, or the closet door opened, and that sort of thing in the middle of the night. In the early part of 2020, prior to the world shutting down due to the pandemic, our maintenance manager and our guest services manager were standing right about here as we were renovating two rooms here along the back wall of that opened to our courtyard. They were talking about the circuit breakers and where certain circuit breakers are for various lights. And so as they were discussing it, we have a panel that is here on this wall, but there's another panel that's upstairs. And when that conversation was happening, Keith Bryan, our maintenance manager, goes, that box, that electrical box is upstairs, and he pointed at this light. And when he pointed, the light cut off while the others were still on and came back on. And so that was one of those. There's a lot of stuff that happens in this house that is somewhat inexplicable, but in that particular case, it was both of them would tell you, they kind of looked at each other and said, "Did you just see that?" And that it was one of those weird moments. Very similarly, about that same time last year, I was out looking at our dogwood room, which opens to our front veranda, which we're redoing the bathroom in that right now. So it has a brand new vanity top, brand new shower in the room. And I opened the door to the room and then walked in, looked at something. When I walked back out, the deadbolt on the door was fully deployed. And so I went to just shut the door, and it would normally just close shut, but instead, bam, it hit, looked back, the deadbolt's out. There's no way that could possibly happen. And even looked at the security footage, because we have security cameras around the front of the property, and nobody came to the door, nobody deployed the deadbolt or anything like that. But the door just happened to be right in line with the column, so we couldn't actually see at what point it got deployed. So very interesting happening. Funny thing about that was about early part of 2021, that same thing happened to our maintenance manager. So that's the same instance, same thing that happened to two different people at two different times.
Wow. Crazy.
In late 2020, we had a housekeeper who worked for us for a very short while, but she was of Haitian descent, and she was tending to some of our amenities, which we keep room supplies in this chest. And so she was working here and had not been working for us for more than 2 weeks at this point. Came downstairs and said, "Oh, I was up. Do you know where some supplies are?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, I didn't bother that little girl upstairs." And it kind of made us turn our heads a little bit, because over the years there have been different reports from different people who claim to have seen a little girl here with a rubber ball of some sort. When she came downstairs, she said there was a little girl upstairs, but I didn't mess with her or mess with her ball. And at that point, she'd not been working with us long enough to hear that story or anything about it. It's not really talked about too much. So for her to just volunteer that information was interesting. She also talked to guests who were staying in the neighboring room and asked if they had seen that girl. And they said they hadn't seen any child up here that morning, but they had the night before. So that was something that was kind of bizarre, but she was working here, and the girl apparently walked out of our John Gresham room and went across the hall into the Macon room, and that was it. So just one of those bizarre stories that have happened, but we have had reports of from our maintenance manager and from another front desk employee who were here one evening, and it was a quiet evening, and they heard a thumping noise. It sounded like somebody was bouncing a ball on the floor or against the wall, and they went through the whole house, couldn't find it, but you could hear that sound, just the thump, thump, thump of a ball hitting.
Who do they think the little girl could be?
One of the thoughts about it is that the little girl may be the daughter of John Gresham, the gentleman who built the house in 1842. Most of the things that happen seem to be more tricks. Things like deploying the deadbolt on a door, lights flicker at the opportune moments. You know, the only being that people claim to have seen consistently is that little girl. And so in terms of just a presence, she would probably be the number one presence.
Any final thoughts? Anything else?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much, I don't really truly believe in paranormal stuff. I'm not one who's going to sit here and tell you that ghosts don't exist, but I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody that they're crazy for believing that there are ghosts and haunted type areas. So as I like to say, everybody's welcome here at the 1842 Inn. We prefer paying guests, but hey, if we have one or two that live here and, you know, keep an eye on the place for us, then all the better for us.
Awesome. Great, man.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Paranormal Files. Now, Jeff and I, Papa Spooks and I, we're here in Macon, Georgia. We left Sioux Falls where we were this morning at 4:30 in the morning. That's when we got up. It's been a very long day, but we're finally here to investigate this historic property behind us. You guys have already heard the history from the interviews that we conducted earlier, and we're just gonna hop right into the investigation. Now, we've been in the building for a while setting stuff up. We're about to go start recording on the static cameras that are downstairs on the lower level of the hotel. And I can just tell you guys, just straight off the bat, that there is a feel of almost an old haunting, some sort of a spirit that's been there for a while inside of this building. I kind of get the feeling that there's just something there. I don't know if it's intelligent or not yet, but I can feel it in my chest just sitting inside of the building. So,
Supposed to be some activity in here.
as you can see right here, we've already set up a static camera facing the SLS camera. So if you guys don't know what the SLS is, it is a piece of technology that's able to track figures in the environment. Usually it'll track a human. If they're standing in front of the camera, it'll show your arms, your head, your feet. But the theory is that this piece of technology that was invented to track humans can basically pick up on other sorts of forms and entities in the environment. So we've got that running here. If something appears in this room, we'll capture that on camera.
Let's just show you. Colin, see, now you've mapped out already. There you are. So that's how you map out, and yeah. So
hopefully at some point this camera will, tight squeeze, pick something up.
Okay.
And then let's go over to this other room in the house. Over here, this static camera. This camera is not a SLS camera. Obviously, it's just a basic static. But we're going to turn on right here the infrared. So you can see right there, we've got the infrared shot of this room. There's the IR illuminator.
Yeah,
Let's see if we can turn it on.
We gotta turn the light off over there before it gets dark.
Yep. So I'm gonna hit roll on that.
Okay.
And now we're ready to go. So I think we're gonna start upstairs. We're gonna get the devices out and then work our way down here as the night progresses. So you ready to go up there?
Yeah, we have been. Like I said, it's already 3 hours in, so.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's get up there.
Immediately on the static camera, we picked up an orb flying in the room while we were still in the room. So we turned the static camera on. I haven't looked through all of the footage yet. We actually post all of our static camera footage raw on Patreon for you guys to look through. But if you'll notice here, most of the footage from this static camera is clean. There isn't any flashing, there isn't anything weird about the video. But at a certain point, when Jeff and I are upstairs, we started to pick up this weird black flashing to the right side of the frame if you look over there. I don't know what this is, I don't know what's causing this. I'm not claiming that it was paranormal, but it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like that in any of our other shots or with any of our other cameras.
So we're upstairs at the inn. We've set up right here in this room, as you can see, these two motion sensing lights right here. These are new devices that we just bought. There's a third one down there right when I pointed at it. That was strange. So those are gonna pick up any motion in the room. They work with IR in the dark. That's when they actually work best.
See that movement there? Oh, that's weird. Anyway, go ahead. Remember we had something fall?
Yeah, we had something fall in there when we were setting up.
Okay.
Weird. Then I've got motion sensing balls over there, cat toys, that when you touch them, look at like this.
they illuminate. And the concept is with this hallway is now, look at that one going
Yeah,
on.
that's what I said. Okay.
Those, and that's weird because look, you can't set it off even if you walk close. That's really weird that one just went off.
Yeah. That's why I told you before. It's like someone's coming up and back.
Yeah.
To that. That's why I think we gotta sit.
Yeah, no, we're gonna sit down. But just to explain this experiment, since this is a stairway and people would have in the day been coming up and down these stairs, going to these rooms, going over there, this would have been a area with a lot of motion. So by placing these sort of devices that track motion, we're trying to, in effect, set a trap for the ghosts or the spirits. I'm gonna place a REM pod over here. That's the final step.
Is there another REM pod somewhere, or where is that?
Let's take this other REM pod.
Because this is where the little girl's been seen playing with the ball.
Yep.
So that's where.
That's why we've got the balls set up here.
And then she kind of comes out and wants to activate some things.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
That was an EM hit on the green.
Yeah. Wants to activate some things. Wants to activate some things. Well, let's get down. Let's sit.
Weird. I got my camera.
Where's the, it hit again. Look at, calm. The green's hitting.
What?
Where's the, it hit again. Look at, calm. The green's hitting.
Let me pause this for a second. So in the footage from Jeff's camera, I don't really believe in orbs, but let's just say that I do believe in orbs for a second. In Jeff's camera footage, you can see an orb kind of fly from the right side of the frame into my back, and almost the exact second that happens, the REM pod starts to hit on the EMF detector, which is not the temperature gauge, it's actually picking up on a phantom EMF frequency that just walked near it. So I don't know if these two events are connected. We didn't really pick up on any other orbs the whole night. I just thought this was interesting and needed to be pointed out. So, Papa Spooks is right here.
Yep. Yeah.
That light is bright as hell.
Is it too right? We can go half, I think.
Yeah, we should do half. Yeah, so.
I think we need to just
Sit.
yeah,
For an
and be
ambush.
still, just not talk.
Okay. So, we're gonna begin the investigation. We're sitting on this bench. All the motion sensing stuff is over there. We already had REM pod hits and the motion ball going off at the top of the stairs, which is interesting. So, if there's anybody here in the home that we're in right now, if you were a mayor, if you were a young girl, we've set up some toys. There are some balls you can come play with. If you were the mayor,
The what?
the mayor,
What's that?
the guy who built this place was a mayor
Gotcha.
of Macon.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't know what we should, I don't know what we could entice a mayor with, but
Well, I think we're kind of thinking more of a young girl. She's what's been seen here.
yeah, we'll focus on her. If you're the young girl, don't be afraid of us. We just want to hang out and play or do whatever you'd want to do. So,
Or anybody else. I mean, this used to be a slave home. And I mean, you've had a number of people, obviously, since 1842 that have lived here. But again, like you said, the little girl playing with a ball has been seen by a number of people up here over the years. And that's why we're out here. But also, it could be the mayor, or it could be a slave, or it could be another person living here. You don't know.
can you come over and hang out with us if you're here? This is also very strange. So as you can see in this footage, I've paused it and replayed it. I'm not moving in this shot, but there's a tapping on my microphone. Now, I don't know if this is the spirit of the little girl being, fixated with my microphone. I've got a fuzzy dead cat is what they call it in film school on it. I don't know if she thought that was a toy or an animal and was tapping on the microphone, but This tapping noise was just really strange to me when I was editing the video. I noticed it for the first time.
This is funny, like father, like son. Look at how I'm sitting and look at how Jeff is sitting. That's kind of cute.
You know what came?
Okay, we're far enough away here. You know, we've got the activation bars with up to 9 feet. If they detect motion, the lights will come on. 2 REM pods. We've explained that. And we've got 4 of these cat toys, but they're, again, motion activated colored balls. So anybody that's here, Colin and I are here just to kind of like get any kind of contact with you. We're completely friendly, especially the little girl. I think you like to play up here, it sounds like. So come out and the noise. Yeah. So come out and try to make some of these lights go off, or the sound go off for us. What do you think, Colin? Want to ask something?
Is there anybody here? Is there anybody here with us in this house? Can you walk up the stairs or walk over to my voice? I know you were just here a couple seconds ago.
You know, sometimes I kind of feel like maybe, you know, a lot of places we go to, it's almost like it has to stew a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing this for like coming up on 4 hours, and it's probably not as active of a place as we've been.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just the way it is.
But that doesn't mean that it can't be.
No. Oh, there's the REM pod. Just the REM pod. Yeah, right. The one right in front of us.
Is that you?
They made that. That just flickered.
Is there anybody here with us in the home in general? Is there anybody here that has something to say? Can you come over towards us?
We did not hear this at the time, but listen to this clip. It is terrifying. I picked up on the microphone audio a very eerie, very quiet laugh. I don't know if this sounds like a kid or an adult. I can't really tell, but the laugh is definitely there. And when I heard this for the first time when I was editing the video, I was definitely spooked.
Don't be afraid of us. I mean, we're really honestly just here to try to make contact with you, just to like hear you out.
A new spirit box.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I just got like I get weird little things, you know how it goes, but I get like my chin, and underneath my chin feels kind of like tingly numb. You know, I like my tongue down. It sounds weird, but that's kind of the stuff that happens to me when I think like something's gonna happen. Either it's like my ringing in my ear, or a little bit of facial, like numbness. I'm fine, you know, health-wise. It's just I feel that just a little bit in my head. So it's like there's something here, but.
You're just waiting to make its presence.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
that's what I mean. It's a waiting game, and if it's going to happen or not. But I think, yeah. I think it's more in my room where the girl's picture's at.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's where we've had 3 things now move or fall. But I kind of feel like there's actually something here. And not
Just don't know what it is.
not sinister, you know.
Yeah, I just feel like it's more like there's something, some kind of energy. Also, I just got so hot sitting here. I'm like sweating all of a sudden. Can you see it on my face?
No. Oh, you got really fuzzy.
Like in the last 4 minutes, I got so sweaty. Okay, we're gonna do a spirit box, everybody. You know how this works. Okay, whoever's here with us, feel free to come through. If you're here with us, can you just say yes or hello or hi? They'll still be playing. All you gotta say is yes or hi or hello. A ghostly guitar. Is there anybody here with us? Can you just say yes or hi or hello or what's up? Stop. Do you not want us here? I don't know. Why don't you want us here if that was you?
3. Come out.
Come out. Are you a man or a woman? Almost woman. How old are you? I heard 7 too. Can you tell us your age?
Can you say that again?
8. It's right there, yeah, right there. Why don't we walk over here and do it? Are you here in this bedroom? Was this your old room? It was. Almost. Were you someone that lived here? Nine. Can you tell us who we're talking to right now? Who's in this home? Scratch. Who's here in the house with us? Can you tell us your name?
In turmoil.
I heard go, please. Okay, so we've been doing this up here for quite a while now. We're gonna head downstairs and see if we can get anything on the spirit box. It's pretty dead though. Yep.
Serious?
Yep, static camera's dead already.
Let's see.
Interesting.
What? How is that possible?
Why don't you sit and ask a couple questions in this room? Here.
Our camera is completely dead, so there must be something here. And can you 2. Did you hear that? Can you say how many of you are here again, please? How many? There's 4. Did you hear it? Can you say maybe one of your names? Okay. How many of you are here? 3. Interesting. I wonder if it kind of could be where they come and go. Also.
Yeah.
There's a few. If there's 2 or 3 or 4 people, entities, they're kind of fighting here. Okay. What do you think, Colin?
If you're in here right now, Are you the little girl?
Not him. Let's go watch that other room.
Okay, that's still on.
Yeah, this one's still rolling.
It's really weird. It's the same cameras.
Can you tell us if you're good or bad?
You know, I'm kind of wondering, Colin, if you let this run out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go get the other battery and let that run out. We're done. And then we put these on the floor up there and just let it go.
Yeah.
We go in our rooms and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can finish up in the morning.
Yeah. So, just to kind of explain too, we've been here for a long time. Hours, nothing crazy happening, not even any real intelligent contact. And we're not going to add stuff into the videos to make it more exciting. What we're going to choose to do at this point, not only because we got up at 4:30 this morning and flew to Georgia and drove here, but because we're not getting anything, we're going to end our physical investigation right now. Leave all the cameras running to see if we can capture evidence. We're just going to call it a night and get good sleep so that we can get good investigations tomorrow as well. Nothing crazy happening here tonight. And we are sleeping here.
Yeah.
So if something happens in the middle of the night, we'll be able to see it and hear it.
So do you want to let these roll and finish it in the morning, like saying?
Yeah. I think we should bring this camera upstairs, let this one roll, and then we should both keep these cameras with us in our bedrooms in case something happens when we're sleeping and we can talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we can save some battery too.
So at about 3:40 a.m., after we had gone to bed, we had been in bed for at least an hour at that point, the static cameras picked up these strange orbs. You can see in the footage before that there's no orbs, and then suddenly these two orbs enter the frame. And the moment that those orbs enter the frame of the camera, the motion detector lights actually go off in the hallway towards the camera, almost as if something is walking right towards the bedrooms. Now that is weird to have those orbs be moving in the area of the motion cameras and then have the motion detecting lights actually illuminate. But strangely enough, only about 15 minutes after we recorded these orbs and the lights going off on the static camera, Jeff woke up in his room and started filming because he heard a very creepy noise in his bedroom. So I'm going to cut to his footage now.
Okay, guys. Just, this is odd. Shit. I'm just waking up here. Right on the money, 4 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Okay, I heard something drop over here. I'm not sure. Okay. That's weird. Didn't that look like a head right there? Thought I heard something drop over here, but hello? That picture right there is the little girl, and I thought I heard something drop in this area. I don't see anything on the ground. That was a little creepy, I would say. If there's somebody in here, can you say something that I can pick up on the camera here? Okay, if there is somebody here, I'm going to try. We didn't get much earlier, but I'd like you to say something into this device. Tell me your name, and into here. Whoever it might be, if you're here. I'm going to leave this run for a little bit. I thought I heard something just right over here underneath this picture in this area. Something drop. I don't see anything, but I'm going to set it down here on the bed. Okay. Say something. It's late, but if you're here, right up there is the picture of the girl that supposedly is seen. Show yourself. Say something into this device. Not going to hurt you. Okay. Let's grab this. I'm just going to try. I apologize. Oh, it's definitely a cold spot there. That's very weird. That dark spot. What the heck? And can you show yourself? Can you come in front of this screen? It's kind of weird. There's kind of like some patchiness showing up there. I have no idea if that's anything. I'm gonna go to bed. I mean, if you want to make noise, go ahead. If you want to show yourself right now in front of this, now is your time. All right, folks. I tried. I don't know what's going on, but I'm shot. But I heard something over in the corner there. There we go. Jeez. Okay. Well, if there is somebody here, I don't feel like you're harmful. I'm gonna go to bed. I can't. I'm gonna be shot tomorrow, but I'm not gonna show myself. Sorry, I'm actually in bed. But to kind of summarize it, again, I thought I was kind of almost asleep, and I thought I heard again something over here drop about 3 times earlier today in the room. From out in the hall, we heard something. I don't see anything on the floor. That is the picture of the girl in the middle that has been seen. I don't know if there's a connection or not, but I did want to see if maybe I can get a response. Good night.
It was a long night for us at the inn, and at the end of the day, to end this episode, when we were in this city, we wanted to head to the Rose Hill Cemetery, a very famous burial ground in Macon, in order to pay respect to a couple of rock and roll heroes and legends that both Jeff and I grew up loving. We figured that since we were here in Macon, where the Allman Brothers really got their start, and this is where Dwayne and Greg are buried, we're going to go visit their grave and leave them something.
Blue sky. Today, look at.
Yeah, blue sky, just like they talk about.
I love that sun.
Also, this is a very interesting cemetery that we're in.
I would say the cool thing about the Allman Brothers too is historically, as we're walking here, they knew enough not to fly the Confederate flag way back before it was, not even talked about. I mean, I think that's just like respectful. Okay, what first struck me, you come over here and the Allman Brothers, he could have a mausoleum or whatever you want, but just think this is the place he picked, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and the train is right there. It's kind of like going back to the roots of just the common man, blue collar, hard worker. I mean, it's what he's about. And this, I'm sure, is really pretty, obviously, when it's blooming, but still, it's still the railroad tracks and those
shitty old buildings and shit over there. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool.
Really says a lot about a person's character.
But this is it. You know, facing that. The highway, old shitty part of town, a railroad right there going by.
Crazy.
I think it says quite a bit.
Dwayne Allman, Raymond Oakley.
They've been gone since 71 and 72.
Yeah.
That's been a long time, man. He died, and Greg died in 2017.
So we like to usually leave memorials to people that have died. We've done that for various murder victims in the past, like in Villisca or Redwood Falls. Today's a bit different since Greg and Dwayne had such a impact on my music. I wanted to leave them a couple words.
In my high school, and I'd say junior high through high school.
Greg. So I said, here's my little note. Greg and Dwayne, thank you for what you did. Thank you for your beautiful music and your positive, inspiring outlook on life. Keep on keeping on, brothers. Never stop rocking. So I'm gonna leave them a little note.
Okay. And anybody online, hey, go to YouTube and just type in Sweet Melissa and watch Greg Allman sing it with Jackson Browne. I love that. I love how he smiles and looks, and he's looking happy.
What'd you write?
Well, it's not too poetic.
It's okay.
Simple.
From the heart.
Thanks for the influence on me as a young rebel. Hope you're happy, man. That's it.
That's beautiful. What do you mean not poetic? That's actually really beautiful, dude.
Well, that's it. We'll slide it under by yours.
Leave them their little tribute.
I'm gonna put this thing on top.
Hold it down.
Yeah.
Well, just like the Allman Brothers, we're rambling men. Seems like we got to get
Lord,
on.
I was born a rambling man. Da-da-da. Trying to make a living and
Doing the best I can. When it's time for leaving, I hope you understand. I was born a rambling man.
My father
Was a gambler down in Georgia. He wound up on the wrong end of a gun. And I was born in the backseat of a Greyhound bus, rolling down Highway 41. Lord, I was born a rambling man.